Live on YouTube, y'all. We're live on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Clay Cane Show. That's CLAYCANE show. So make sure you follow us on YouTube. And if you're on there, make sure you hit like, subscribe to the channel as well, because once you hit like, that really helps out the algorithm. I'm here with my girl. She is the host of the Reecie Colbert Show that airs every Saturday right here on Urban View at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My girl, Reecie Colbert. Reecie, what's up?
Hey, New York Times bestseller. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Wait, you
Listen,
just changed your
I want to
jacket,
give you.
huh? You didn't have that jacket on
No,
this
it's the
whole
same
time?
jacket.
Oh,
Cause hey, I have the same
okay.
jacket, a little
Mean
green, a little
green.
something, a little green.
Okay, what's the green for?
I don't know. It's just the jacket that I have. It's just I'm
Oh,
just wearing it just to wear it. I guess
oh,
just
okay,
rocking a little green and
okay.
white. I want to give you a moment to talk about Joyanne Reid. Her no
Hmm.
longer being on MSNBC. Yesterday was her last show, and she went out with just grace, style,
Mm-hmm.
class, crown
Mm-hmm.
still on her head as always.
Yeah.
Let's play a bit of the clip of Joyanne Reid's final show. Listen to this.
Shout out to our amazing readers, our audience. I just love running into y'all in the airport, on these streets, and on social media. I could not love or appreciate you more. Thank you, thank you, thank you for holding us down. Almost 5 years. We are a toddler, and we out in these streets, in this world, and we are not going to stop. That is tonight's readout. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and on Substack at substack.joy. It's at joyandread.substack.com. Also on TikTok and Facebook at Joy Reid Official. Inside with Jen Psaki starts now.
Okay. I know
It was
Joy
all
just ended
joy.
her show
Bring
by
it down, bring it
saying,
down. It was
Yeah.
all joy. Like what Joyanne Reid would bring. Bring it all joy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I talked about it yesterday, Reecie, but I wanted to give you some time to just express your thoughts as a black woman who is in media.
Oh, I am. No,
Black women views, baby.
yes, honey. No, I thought it was a wonderful show. I really appreciated the tack that she took. She took joyful, she took uh she did her thing instead of doing maybe what somebody would have expected her to do, and give them something to pick at, give them something to pounce all over. She didn't give them that. She did her show, and she paid tribute to her staff, which I thought was really beautiful. And she is a trailblazer. It was a big, big fucking deal when she got the readout. If I'm not mistaken, she is the first black
First
woman
time.
in
First black
prime
woman had a prime
time.
time
Yeah.
cable news show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cable news
that's
show.
history.
That's
She's been a
history.
black
That
trivia quiz question because of that.
Right,
The Great
right,
Black Trivia Quiz. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I watched AM Joy all the time. I mean, she got me through the first couple of years of the Trump administration with that. And so she certainly deserves all the flowers that she is getting. She deserves all the support that she is getting. She deserves every bit of the love that she's getting, because she really has put in the work, and she has opened the doors to a lot of people. A lot of the people that I like, I discovered from watching AM Joy. And Karine Jean Pierre went on to be press secretary. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's because of Joy. I don't know. Maybe, but I know that I saw her on Joy's show. That's where I first learned about Karine Jean Pierre. And a lot of other people who've really done really great things and have great careers. And so I'm rooting for everybody black, um, especially black women. And I'm sure she will find a way to bounce back, and do things in her own way, be untethered by this environment where you do have these corporations that are completely capitulating to Donald Trump, um, and to MAGA and to that agenda. And so we see what Don Lemon is doing with the Don Lemon show out of CNN,
Love Don Lemon.
and he's
Yeah.
off the chain. So if that's any indication of what life after cable news looks like, then I think she's gonna, she's gonna do great. So I mean, I'm sad for her. It was heartbreaking to see how she broke down on the Women's Black Women, Women's Black Men call. It was supposed to be off the record, but Chad, I saw the clips everywhere. So I guess but yeah. But I also think I don't tell people to watch anything in particular, you know, because it's not my business what you watch. Nobody's paying me to endorse their shit. So, but I did an interview for the Griot yesterday, and I did talk about, you know, Donald Trump's reaction to it. But I also did point out that Simone, Sanders, and Michael Steele, they're not slouches. You know, they put in work too. They both have done a lot of really, really hard work. You know, Joy took over Melissa Harris Perry's spot. You know, so I there is part of me that is a little uncomfortable with some of the galvanization around her that seems to be kind of shitting on Simone, Sanders, and Michael Steele. I don't think that is necessary. It's so it doesn't make me feel good to see that. Simone put me on MSNBC. You know, she was the only one to put me on MSNBC. And not only on her show, on the Simone show, but also when she did the 11th hour, when she filled in with Stephanie Ruhle, she included me on there. And so I think that Simone doesn't get enough credit for the doors that she opened. She has had people on her shows that have done great things as well. And so obviously Joy is the loss. And obviously she's irreplaceable, but I think that Simone is going to do a great job as well. And I think Michael Still's going to do a great job. And so I just want to uplift Simone as well, because I think that she's kind of getting a bad rap in all of this. When this is showbiz, at the end of the day, it's news, it's media, but it's also showbiz. So of course, people are going to have an attachment to their particular person. There are people who was a little upset when you took over the extra hour. There are some people who probably would have preferred that to have Shermichael stick around as opposed to me. This is the business, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's part of it is business. It's not pretty. It's not, you know, it's not always fun. It's not always fair. But I do think that I think that she's going to do well, and I think that Simone is going to do well as well. So I'm interested though in this whole support Black media, Black media, Black media, Black media. I'm curious what that's going to look like, because a lot of what I'm seeing is like, I wonder who Black media is. Well, you guys let us know. Who should we? Fuck you mean? We been here. What you talking about? Urban View, really? Like, we've been doing this.
Karen's been rocking it for 10 years. Karen.
Hello, Urban View, Joe Madison, like Karen, the Reed, you, me,
Legend.
L Joy.
Power.
Yeah, I'm confused as to what the big mystery is about. Well, where do we go? I don't know. It was just a big hole. There's 7 days of original programming geared towards our community, talking about politics and culture, mostly politics. It's not a mystery. So it's some of it. It's a little bit of it. I'm like, y'all acted real confused, and I don't think that there should be any confusion, because everybody knows us. Everybody listen, talk the things that we talk, and people conveniently, you know, ring us up when it's convenient. So I'm just interested to see how this plays off now, where I guess now mainstream ain't shit no more. So it's like, let's support Black media. Okay, well, let's see it. Let's see the support, because the support has been there from us to other platforms. The support has been there for us in opening the doors of Urban View, and all the doors that we've had beyond the mic are sold out tour multiple times.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Has invited, you know, people in. So I'm curious to see where people really go with this whole support Black media thing, because the reality is there really aren't a lot of us on national airwaves, radio, and Sirius is international too, technically, doing political talk shows. There are not a lot of us doing that. And so while there is a gap in terms of Joy's specific voice on that specific network, I don't think there's a gap in terms of the kind of work that we've been doing for years. So I'm not saying that to be shady. I'm not saying that, look at me. I'm just saying, be very, very clear. We have stood in this space for many years, many, many years, for an extensive amount of time. Not a hit here and there on this show for 5 minutes, hours at a time. daily, weekly, multiple times a week. So if you want to support Black media, we've been here. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, and that really goes back to me being inspired when I saw Ed Gordon on BET Tonight. That used to air every night at 11 o'clock on BET.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that goes back to when Roland Martin had his show on TV One, and now, of course, he's killing it on Unfiltered, and you're
Yeah,
on
he
there
does his thing.
on
Yeah.
Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people who've been doing this kind of work, which is really important. I do want to say this, though, about Joyanne Reid. The only time I've been on primetime MSNBC
Mm-hmm.
was on Joyanne Reid show.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on MSNBC a lot, to be fair, but I mean primetime.
Right.
It's only
Right.
been Joyanne Reid show.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time I've been on primetime CNN,
Mm-hmm.
Don Lemon's show, which
Mm-hmm.
he no longer has,
Mm-hmm.
Abby Phillips and Laura Coates.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been on those shows without those hosts. So what do they all have in common? I
Well,
want to
but
also add about Joyanne
sorry.
Reid.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. With Joyanne Reid, that's important is that, there was a time where I would only get booked for media spots because I'm gay to talk about LGBT stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Joy would have me come on there and talk politics because at the Griot, she had hired me and gave me work as a struggling writer many years ago, like over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew that I had political analysis. And so she would bring me on there to talk about politics that don't have anything to do with LGBT folks.
Right.
Because you can
Right.
sometimes get pigeonholed. Like we can do robust topics. We can also talk foreign policy. We can also talk domestic policy. You know, we're not limited to our identities.
Right.
And I really
Absolutely.
appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciated that. That, and Mark Lamont Hill did that for me as well too. He would have me come on his HuffPost live show.
Yeah.
And talk
yeah.
about things that weren't
Mhm.
anything to do with LGBT. And I have no issue talking about that, but
Mhm.
I saw that I know a lot of Black LGBT folks that happens to us where they put us in one kind of box. We can only talk this. So I really appreciate Joyanne Reid seeing that in me.
Yeah,
And,
that's beautiful.
and to be fair, Melissa Harris Perry was the first person to have me on MSNBC. First person
Okay.
during the weekend show. I mean,
Yeah.
she opened the doors for so many people. And so those little things that you know, lead me to where I am today. And of course, Karen Hunter said I could talk whatever I want to talk.
Right.
And, just be me and be raw and be myself.
Yeah.
And then this audience has embraced me. So I just want to publicly thank Joy for that because there is a strange lane where producers see you in and actually saw her. She goes, oh, I want to have you come on. And again, I don't have an issue talking anything, but I want to know that I could talk pretty much if we're talking about politics. Now, if we're talking about, your favorite West Coast rapper, Reecie, I know that you love, I might struggle with that. But if we talking politics and history.
Oh, yeah, you got that. You got that.
So I thank Joyanne Reid for that. And I know other people who have had that same experience with them. So
yeah, she's opened the doors for a lot of people. Absolutely. I said that. Yeah, she's a trailblazer, and her individual work speaks in and of itself, but then also the pipeline that she has built is really incredible. And I think that's going to serve her well in this next chapter. But to your point about only these people put you on the networks, that's exactly why, to me, I just don't look at the networks as, oh, I have arrived. Oh, this is the biggest thing ever. And I think that's just where there's a little bit of a disconnect for me with some of the conversations around it, because I've long not really looked towards them as being these networks as being the arbiters of what and who is relevant in our communities, because I know that the conversations are really happening outside of those systems and institutions. And so it is a loss for them, those institutions. But I just think that we have a lot of work that happens outside of those institutions that has been there, is still here, and will continue to thrive. And maybe, since people supposedly are so on board now with supporting Black media outside of MSNBC and CNN, maybe there will be people who will be new to exploring this space. But for me, it's just, I mean, like I said, I don't put so much stock in those institutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And can I just say, on C-SPAN, you killed it. If
Oh,
y'all didn't
thank
see
you,
Reecie
boo.
Colbert on C-SPAN, you can watch it on their site, believe, right? In full. You
Yeah,
can
on
watch it on
C-SPAN.
cspan.org,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also on your social media. So
I posted
C-SPAN,
some
you
clips.
killed
Yes,
it.
honey.
Yeah, 45 minutes slaying it. You were amazing. So y'all make sure you do that and support us. You know, if you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Yeah.
And you can also subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Reece's channel.
Yeah.
Reece and I are trying to work out a date to go live in the evening at some point. So we're going to try and make that happen soon. It's just been our schedule. We out here scratching and surviving and all that good stuff.
And can I just say, you brought it up. I mean, support looks like reposting things that we do.
Yeah.
There are people that never repost us. Not
Yeah.
your show, my show, or actual shows, or when we make appearances on other things. So I know I'm probably sounding like a little like, but it's only because I'm just an evidence-based person. I'm just a receipts, not rhetoric type of person. And I feel like we have the receipts in how we've supported, and saying Black media is something we've always stressed the importance of. People argued our asses down when we said Kamala Harris should come to Urban View. People argue our ass down when we say people should come talk to us. So we've been on that page of the importance of Black media and the importance of spaces like Urban View.
The importance of making the choir sing. Yeah,
exactly.
Because people have been messaging me saying, "Oh, but if they come on, they're preaching to the choir." That's not necessarily true. You got to make the choir sing. You got to make them sing. You got to work. The Republicans work and massage their base.
They do.
Over and over and over.
OAN, everything. That's all the choir, right?
Trump was going on Fox News. That is definitely the choir. They're all singing out of tune and off beat and the whole bit. But Trump was going on Fox News every once a week, every other week, calling in like the base. So come on. Like, you got to make and y'all as the audience, y'all deserve that. You may not always agree with us. We may see things differently, but you know that we want the same thing. And y'all have to come on. We've been trying to. I heard Roland saying this last night. You try and get some of these folks to come on, and they won't, because I think they think they're just the base. I want them to come on and take calls from the audience. Take calls, talk to people, engage people. That's why I appreciate Senator Warnock from Georgia. He comes on even when he's not running for. Wes Moore will come on.
Governor Moore, that's my governor.
Election. Yeah. Exactly. Like, this is the kind of stuff this is how you cultivate. Whether, okay, I get it, you're not going to be on the ground in every city. I understand that. But our world is so much smaller.
It is.
You can reach out in so many ways.
Yeah.
So I make the choir sing, massage the bass, get the bass motivated, because our base is bigger than their base.
It is.
Yet they still manage to win. They still manage to win because, variety of things. It's not just one thing. It's very nuanced and layered. But at least come on and support. If you're begging Liz Cheney voters. And I'm not just talking about, some of the pop culture outlets, Black political outlets,
Black
Latino
political outlets, not the Breakfast Club, not Shay Shay. That's what I'm saying. A lot of this Black media shit, nobody was really, this whole thing, all this shit we're hearing now, where was that 6 months ago? That's the only thing I'm saying. Right. That's the only thing I'm saying. Is where was that energy? We've been consistent. So I hope that what we're hearing now is not just a joy thing. I hope that it is a real reckoning and an epiphany that people are having about the importance of these spaces. Maybe I'm not your cup of tea. That's fine. But I'm just saying, I hope that what we're seeing, this galvanization that we're seeing, is really going to translate, because we've been singing that tune for a very, very long time.
Absolutely. Let's go to a call here. Let's go to Darren from Texas. What's up, Darren, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Clay?
Hey.
Question. Hey, I'm looking at this constitutional crisis over here, And I am a little intimidated and a little scared, but I sit among my circle of friends, and we listen to your show, listen to Miss Daniel, listen to Miss Hunter, and we hear that that respect and admiration that we have for our Black Panthers and Stokely Carmichael and SNCC and Fred Hampton and Malcolm X, and some of the other people that I talk to that are looking at this constitutional crisis from the same lens that I am. And I'm saying to myself, why are we so romantically involved and love our 70s and 60s leadership so much? And the only thing that I kept coming back to was the courage. It was the courage that I think we.
And they were very young too. Huey Newton, early 20s.
They were. Oh my goodness,
they were
30s and 20s.
Very, very young. Even Dr. King, he's shot and killed at 36 years old. I mean, these are very young people. Yeah. Go ahead, Darren.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, the college campuses right now, under any administration, they would be raising holy hell from one East Coast over to the West Coast. But we don't see that under this administration. We saw the college kids rising up and finding the courage in the Palestinian movement. We've seen that with Occupy Wall Street.
That's a good
We don't
point.
see that under this administration. So
that's true.
My question to Ms. Colbert and to you, Mr. Kane, is for those that are out there that know they lack the courage, they know that is the limiting factor that they have, whether it be the college kids out there on the campus, the 30 to 40-year-old that's sitting there saying, hey, I know I need to be moving in this direction. I know I need to be, acting up, if you will, but I don't have that courage. What would you say to them to give them that inspiration and how to find their courage to get out there and get involved? Because I don't believe in peaceful protest. I just don't. But
I'll say this, Darren. Thank you for your question. And it really is a couple of things. So when we talk about the 1960s and, 1970s and even the 1950s, 1940s, 1930s, I do think it's important to remember it was, in the grand scheme of things, it was a small number of people who were protesting.
Right.
It wasn't the overwhelming majority of people. So here's a bit of optimism. It only takes a small number to shift things.
That's true. That's very true.
Folks think that every single person, like 90% of people were out there on the streets. Most people were at home working every day, scratching to get by and living under Jim Crow, and they couldn't even afford to go on the freedom rides and so on. Like most people are just trying to get by, right? And I understand that too. And maybe the way of them, Dr. Reverend Otis Moss talked about this on Karen's show. I loved it. Maybe the way you help is you make some pound cake and you donate or whatever the case may be. I think the other thing is we got to find our little ways of what we could do. Not everything is for everybody, right? And not everything is good. We're not all going to do the same thing. So I think there's that it takes a small number of people to institute real change. We should all think about that. And I've went into strategy and execution and all of these things, the Montgomery bus boycott, there was trainings around that. But I think ultimately, to your point where it feels like there's less of that, is what's going to activate people. And something is going to activate people.
Oh, for sure. At least activate enough people. They don't have to activate everybody. Yeah. But enough, yeah.
Something is going to activate people. You know how, what would my grandfather say? Like, God will knock on your head, 1 time, 2 times, 3. And by that 4th or 5th time, it's going to be a big knock on your head. You know what I mean? Something is going to act. And I don't know what, in many ways it was the Vietnam War. When young people, black or white, realized they were going to go to Vietnam, and you had in the beginning, black and Latin kids being the first ones drafted and going on the front lines and dying, something may happen. And if, for black communities, you see Jim Crow, segregation, lynchings, so on. So I hope we can get to a point where we're not going to have a forced activation. because
Yeah.
there are some people who are comfortable. I was talking to a young person yesterday. I'm not going to say their name. They
Mm.
go to a really amazing school. And I said, don't worry, I'm not going to say your name. And I said, yo, like, what are you hearing on the ground at school? And they were like, you know what? No one's even talking about politics right now.
Very
Not even
interesting.
they said, we're not hearing it. And this is at a prestigious school,
Right.
HBCU.
Oh,
So no one's even
you
talking
said
about it.
HBCU?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I said, really? They were like, I'm talking about it, but I'm by myself, really.
Mm.
There's a handful of, because, during the election, people were on it, but no one even's really paying attention to what's going on. And I said,
Mm.
oh,
That's crazy. Yeah.
as they're putting in DEI orders that could impact black sororities and fraternities.
Uh-huh.
So, Mr. Darren, something is going to activate people, and I don't know what that is, and I hope it's not too late. I hope it's not too late. Reecie, your thoughts?
Honestly, I feel like we spend too much time thinking about how to get other people to do something. Just do what you do, and then people will rock with it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's my approach to stuff, because people, I think that's what stops people from even getting started, because they feel like there has to be some grand thing that gets all these people together. And then there's a disappointment there, a disillusionment there, when it doesn't have the impact that you think it's going to have. If you just do what you do, if you do what's important to you and you activate in the areas that you care about, that will in and of itself activate other people. And that's the best way of approaching anything, is activate yourself first and then let people get on board with you, or you activate yourself to get on board with people who are doing other things. But I think we spend too much time even worried about who ain't doing X, Y, and Z, and meanwhile we ain't doing shit either. So that would be my thing. Start somewhere. Don't worry about affecting about affecting people who are not gettable. Just do what you feel like is important, and that in and of itself will have an impact.
And we have to also remember that with every movement or every bit of progress, like I was saying earlier, when the 1964 Civil Rights Act was signed, immediately you had the opposition fighting against it. And they've been fighting against it for 60 years. So there are people that deliver change and you see change, but there's a pushback to that change.
Oh, and it's relentless.
When you have LGBT folks fighting for same-sex marriage, immediately when same-sex marriage is legalized, I think it was 2015, I believe, or 2016, one of those, there's been pushback against it. So there is the opposition party that sometimes, to your point, Reecie, is more consistently relentless.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Just because you got that civil rights, and I'm not saying folks gave up then because you have.
Right, no, of course they did it. Yeah.
But just because you get that policy, that bill, it ain't over. It's not over. Like first choice, it's not over. Because now you got to maintain it on paper. Now you got to maintain it forever. Now you got to vote even more. Now you got to vote locally even more. Now you got to show up to a city council meeting even more. Now you got to call your congressman even more. Now you got to join your local political party even more. Now you got to, I don't know, look into the Working Families Party even more. Like, because that don't mean they're going to stop. And they'll pass on that ideology to their grandkids.
Absolutely.
That 1964 Civil Rights Act. It's I should be able to have whoever I want in my restaurant, in my hospital, on my highways. It's the fight is a long game.
It's
now what would have been great
game. Yeah. Very long.
And what's sad is that any progress for black folks, it helps all people. It really does. I don't know why people think that somebody else getting access to healthcare is going to help you, is going to hurt you. That'll help you. You don't want more sick people in your home or your neighborhood or your town.
Ciao.
And I'm not saying everything is terrible. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just pointing out that I want to maintain where we've the hard work.
Right.
That's brought us here.
Yeah. I agree.
Let's do a few more calls, and then we'll head to a break. And we're on YouTube right now. We're on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button. Like. Hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. Okay, let me see here. Let's go over to Bobby from Mississippi. What's up, Bobby?
Clay Kane, what's going on, my man?
I'm doing good. What's up, brother? I love Mississippi.
I know. It's my second time calling you. First time calling you. I told you I was down here in a little town called Port Gibson, right down here by Alcorn State University, my alma mater, my employer. You said you wrote about our first president. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But, James Alcorn?
No, Hiram Revels.
Hiram Revels.
You said you had him in your book.
Oh yeah.
It was named after. It was named after James Alcorn, but Hiram Revels became the first president. And Hiram Revels did amazing work around public education. He was the first black senator, y'all, in 1868. Hiram Revels, great guy. Well, interesting guy, but all in context.
Not you qualifying. you downgraded him.
I'm sorry. It's interesting, but we don't know all the details. Go ahead, Bobby. I'm sorry.
But I ain't calling anyone. I just want to say, man, Reecie Colbert, man, you got me hooping. You a one big fool, man. I'm telling you, you tell it just like it need to be told, man. I love it when you on here. I cannot turn it off with you, man. Y'all be killing me, man. You gotta keep up the good work, man. That's all I wanted to say. And good talking to you again, man.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's go to D'Amico from Michigan, first time caller. What's up, D'Amico?
Yes, hi. Hi, Clay and Reecie. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Reecie, I love you so much. I love you on Twitter, XXX, with the receipts. Please keep those receipts. We need that.
I will.
I was just responding to what I heard. I listened to you guys in my car, and I was listening that protests do work. You may not be satisfied with the impact, but they do have an effect. I was just got out of church with my Bible study ladies and was telling them, it's more than just boycotting Target. We have to literally hit them where it hurts, but also we have more as young people. We're not cut like we were, like they were in the 1960s. We have a little more power technologically, social media. We also could use through our different channels, and they could swell up, to where we can do some damage. I don't believe that people are going to get $5,000 and then they're going to put into the economy when they're going to hike up everything anyway. So if you don't buy, the only reason I have a problem, and I'll be honest with you, what Tabitha Brown says, you can boycott Target, just don't boycott me. Well, you need to pull your stuff out of Target and all these stores and run it through your website, run it through your own distribution. And that's what some of these preachers
I just want to add really quick, though. I got to double check this, but I believe what she said is that she has a contract and there's no way for her to pull things from the shelves. So just want to be fair to her. I understand some folks didn't like her comments, but I don't think contractually she's able to pull her stuff from her shelves. Just want to be fair to her. And you can disagree with what she said, but I just want to be fair. Go ahead, D'Amico.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. Well, I mean, even if you want to show solidarity, it'd be like, okay, well, if she can't break the contract and such, you could at least support those, and be like, okay, buy directly from my website. Here, you can support black businesses through their own channels. You don't necessarily have to go through big box channels. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I do want to say, D'Amico, to your point, bringing this up, February 28th, this Friday, is an economic blackout. And if you want to participate in this economic blackout, you don't buy anything this Friday. An economic blackout, not buying anything. If you want to join it, you can Google it to get more information. But this Friday, February 28th, it is an economic blackout. And we want to show people the power of consumers. I know some folks are saying, yeah, but what about the March 1st? I get that. But let's just try it on the 28th.
Oh, yeah.
But what about? I get it.
Just do it one day.
Let's just try it on the 20th.
Yeah.
You just do it for
Can I
day.
just say something though about Tabitha Brown? Please. This is
okay.
Goes back to my point earlier about how something becomes the new thing to talk about. now Black media support is now the new thing when we've been talking about it. Tabitha Brown has been spotlighting Black entrepreneurs every single week on her platform. Yeah. She had one of my best friends on his show. And she takes submissions. It's not like it's just the homies that she bring on there. And so she has been doing the work of uplifting Black entrepreneurs. And I hate when we get into these things where we pick a boogeyman or we make somebody the person that needs to do X, Y, and Z when they've been doing that. And I know, D'Amico, you ain't being nasty, but I'm just he wasn't saying that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm just saying sometimes we make demands of people, or we have a new hill to die on, and the people that you are going after are people who have already been doing that work. So you're kind of new to like, oh, this something needs to happen when they've been doing it. And then they didn't get the support and people weren't reposting their videos and stuff, weren't commenting, they weren't buying those products. But then now she's supposed to fall on the sword. So I'm just, like I said, people that have the receipts, maybe not everything is going to align. We don't have to align on everything, but I do think that's important context about Tabitha Brown, because I don't know how she became the boogeyman. Not saying that he called her the boogeyman, when you got Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all motherfuckers have to do was just vote, and then you wouldn't have to worry about DEI going away in any of these damn stores.
Can you imagine if we would have had a Kamala Harris administration? Things would be so calm. We would have nothing to talk about.
We would be chilling.
We'd just be talking about TV shows, and we would have nothing to talk about. Let's do one more call, then we have to go to a break. Simone from New York. What up, Simone?
Hello, Mr. Kane.
Hello. What's up?
I just had a comment, or I just want to first say this is my first time calling. I've just turned on. I was waiting for that because I know that that's something you do. Yeah, but
yes.
I just want to say I just recently retired, and just getting into some things. I was very active in my previous life as a poet, as an activist.
Oh.
Did a lot of work at Hunter College, where I went to school, with getting anti-apartheid work and just a lot of things. So I'm glad to see you young people carrying the torch.
Thank you.
I joined Cirrus so I can get Urban View. I listened to Karen Hunter and Dr. Greg Carr. That reminds me of the First World Alliance in Harlem, where Dr. John Henrik Clark and Joseph Ben Yakinen. And sometimes I felt left out in those spaces as a female, as a Black woman. But I kept coming. So I know what it's like to be a part of something where you don't agree with everything that's going on. But you say to yourself that the larger picture is, it's going to help me, It's going to help. And you still continue to struggle to be free, to express yourself and thrive.
Well said.
I was thinking, I wanted to know your thoughts about the Working Families Party.
Love them. Yeah. Go ahead. And, sorry, I just love them so much.
Okay.
Good.
And where you see them going in the future. I've been hearing stuff about Indivisible, which I'm glad to hear. And I hope that they, I need to look and research them more.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, because we have to go to a break. And thank you, Simone, for calling in. Congrats on retiring. And I'm glad that you're part of the Urban View fam. Welcome to the fam. I think you're talking about third parties. I struggle with the idea of a third party on a presidential level, because I get so annoyed when they pop up 4 months before an election. It just feels strange to me. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not a big fan of Jill Steinmetz, going to be honest with you. I don't really know if it's sincere or not. But what I love about the Working Families Party and mainly them, but they're not nationwide, is that they do things locally. They help to elect Tish James. They work within the Democratic Party because they know that's where the power is on a federal level. But they do so much amazing work locally. That's what I'm talking about. And sadly, we are in a states' rights country right now, and we have to really look at things from a local level. And when you have WFP, and I know some folks have messaged me, well, I still don't like their leadership. Okay, listen.
That's okay.
Start your own party, and it takes time. But, having a robust independent party, that's like, from what I've seen, 20 years of really hardcore, grassroots work. Remember during the presidential election, Reecie, they had the No Labels Party?
I remember that for 3.5 seconds.
Exactly. So when I see them doing the work, and when
Yeah.
I see them with receipts, especially locally, I think we should be tapped into that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see you pop up 4 months before an election. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I want us, like Reecie always says, to fully capitalize and use our voting power in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Because sadly, we don't do that enough. The way that the Tea Party and the MAGA Party took over Republican Party, we could do a version of that. But I love that on a local level as well. Go ahead, Reecie.
No, and I think that it's important because they're not obstructionists and they don't just throw out all of these ridiculous litmus tests and you know, they're not chaos agents. They are organizers at the heart of it, and they do in their way, they still cultivate their base and they cultivate their party, but they do it in a way that still is politically pragmatic. So I think that they do good work. I'm not familiar with their work, how much they do outside of New York. But I
think they're in like 5 other states, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, what I'm more familiar with is what they do in New York. But from what I've seen in New York, I've only seen them be a net plus. I don't follow them that closely. But the people that be fucking shit up, you gonna hear about it. Okay. And they don't give that. They give people who really, really do the work. And I respect that. At the end of the day, look, people, we have elections. Run, you win, cool, you don't. Okay. That's how this works.
Exactly. Thank you for your call, Simone. Reecie, can you stay after the break, or do you have to? I should have asked you. Can you stay after the break?
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's come back. Let's talk a little bit of what we're watching and all that. No, it's Tuesday. We'll chop it up. I was thinking it's Thursday.
We can talk about Doge and those resignations. I want to talk about that whole.
Let's do that. Okay. And Reecie, you're going to stay on YouTube for
a
hot second?
Chat a little bit. Yes.
Okay. Clay Kane Show. Head into a break. Be right back.
This is the Clay Kane Show on Sirius XM Urban View, channel 126.
I saw a K Jordan. Now, Clay did not say that Trevor was talking about Jim Crow. What Clay pointed out is that you cannot divorce Jim Crow from segregation. The concept of segregation and was integration a bad thing cannot be talked about divorce from Jim Crow. That was the point that he was making. He wasn't putting words in Trevor Noah's mouth. He was more so just pointing out that there was a lot of context that was missing there. Okay, let me see. Shout out to DJ Quick Sugar for yes. Okay, I went back some, so let me go down. B Dizzle, Joe Madison always said that everyone could do something. That's right. That's my motto, honey. Black Morpheus, thank you. Let's see. Clay for acknowledging Melissa Harris Perry. She was out there farming today, honey. She is so unbothered. Did y'all see that? Mickey says other people are waiting for blacks to run to the front and lead the charge. I don't know if that's gonna happen this time, honey. Tab also sells food items. I haven't tried her stuff because I haven't gone the vegan route, but I do use her products for my daughter's hair, and they're really lovely. Thank you, Chris Tucker. Let's see. Okay, let me scroll down. Would like to see Reecie on cable. Okay, thank you. Hey to everybody. I don't know if I'm gonna get cut off. So let's see. Okay, I'm caught up to everybody. It sounded like y'all were bashing Trevor. Well, if anybody was bashing, it might have been me a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Clay was very respectful, but I don't tend to be as respectful when I think people are saying stuff that's a little cray. But I have a problem with him, shoot, $100 million net worth. He's doing his thing, I just don't think he's equipped to talk about segregation. Let's see. My hair looks good. Thank you. Need the hair website. Oh, I don't, honestly, I'll be honest. I got Tab's products at Target, but it was before the boycott. Okay. So I don't know if she got her own website, but I got the little sweet potato thing because I use it for my daughter's hair. My daughter's hair needs a lot of moisture. So, okay. Clay's coming back. So I think I'm going to get cut off, but hi everybody. And soon. Bye.